Okay, so it's 2:30. This has been the longest, most hellacious night. This is a night that is running in competition with the pine cone and the nail situation, if you remember that one. Because that one was I think it was every hour she got up. My hair is dirty, like this this mural back here is each flower is like its own painting. It is so much more time consuming than in my mind. It was like, oh, it'd be done by the afternoon. It's like, oh my gosh, I'll be lucky if I'm done this afternoon. And I'm gonna try, because one side I've almost got it done, and so I'm going to try and finish that one side and then work on the other side, so at least I can do stuff in the kitchen. I have no counter or anything, and so there's a problem with cooking. I need to cook. My hair is dirty as can be. That's not the kitchen thing, though. That's just because everything is just like kind of chaotic and I'm busy. I did the bathroom one too. So those little tiles, I was going to bust them out and I was going to put in those little tile sheet things or whatever. And then I just decided I'm going to paint it. Especially when I painted the black, I was like, fuck, I was tore for a while. I was like, fuck, I like that so much. Maybe I should just leave it black. And then, but that went on for a while, and then I decided to put the flowers. But now I love the flowers. So in there, I was trying to decide, and my daughter had messaged me right when I was doing this, so I got her opinion, and she liked it being more plain because I've got these they're like tile stickers, so it makes it look like you have different tiles or something, and so it looks more busy as the backsplash thing. And so she thought it's better to not paint that. And that's what I kept thinking too. I kept thinking, I don't know if that's gonna, and it's so time consuming, man, to be with, it's not, like that was rough when we had no bathroom for 5 days. Like there was no shower, no toilet. There was, the sink, I think, was even piled up with stuff. Like, man, when you have a small house, you don't have a lot of places to put stuff. And every room was like piled. But I'm so out of it, man. It was so crazy because yesterday morning when I was talking and I said, oh, she's doing so great. She hasn't even winced in a few days. And she has been doing so much running and stuff when we go on walks, and she's so rowdy. She's so much more rowdy now. And I'm sure that's what's probably causing the problems in this weather, which there's the biome cyclone has another one coming. I'll explain that in a minute. So this is how weird shit has been around here. Like, I'm not even fucking kidding me. I just saw a parade with the Krampus parade again. I was like, oh my God, it's like I just saw that a couple weeks ago. How can this be a year? Like, what the fuck? So everything has been really, really weird. Like I keep saying, like where the dark energy is, like it's proficient. I can't even tell you how crazy. Like I have been so fucking frustrated. But this is exactly how it has been going for, I can't even tell you. It's like beyond just knocking shit out of your hands. It's like at this point I'm just like, of course. I bet there was some days where I was like screaming my head off, like, are you fucking motherfucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I motherfucking can't even, like I'm fucking hollering at the universe, like, what the goddamn fuck is going on? Oh my God, I have been so frustrated. I feel like the dark energy is totally a battle right now with us. And I don't know, some people may not have awareness of it, but it's some fucking motherfucking shit. And so yesterday morning I said, she hasn't been whining or anything. I am not shitting you. The moment I stopped talking and put it on download, I hadn't even started downloading. I just stopped talking, took my phone and started putting the thing in, and she knew I was done. She started getting up. She winced 5 or 6 times, like cried out, and then wobbled her way to the door, crying the whole time. I was like, are you motherfucking kidding me? Are you motherfucking kidding me? What the fuck is going on? And so then, that was the rest of the day. It's been, she can't sleep for more than, I mean, well, I'll be lucky if I make it through this whole thing, and she's all dosed up on medicine. And no matter how much medicine I was giving her yesterday, it wasn't doing anything. And it was even, to where I was like, man, is she just getting kind of dopey? She's just sitting there staring and stuff. Like, that's one thing when you do some of this stuff, it's hard. You have to really pay attention to them. It's not like where you can just go, oh, give them a teaspoon every 4 hours or something. It's like you have to pay attention. And she's on that DMSO stuff came, if that's what it's called. I don't remember. It's sitting over here. And I took some and I put it on my, oh, let's see. It does feel smaller. I put some on my skin thing, and it burns. It burns, man. And then I put some on Stella. Once mine started burning really bad, I was like, fuck. So I tried to wipe it off, but it still just kept burning. And I was worried that hers was really burning, but it didn't seem to bother her more than whatever else is bothering her. So, so she has that. She is, all my tea that I drink, which is all herbal benefit stuff. Oh, yeah. Oh, get this, too. God. Okay, I'm all over the place. So weird. I like starting. I was like, what the fuck are you even going to talk about? You could talk for an hour about your painting. So I just saw this is in Washington State and parts of Oregon. All of Washington State. Not just an isolated area. All of Washington State. Tell me this, motherfuckers. So I'm on my own water district. They're on their own water district. We're supposedly all on our own wells. So how the fuck is now every single water has got some fucking little worm in it? They look like a hair kind of. The thing that the video I saw where the guy was showing it was horrible because it was a whole bunch of them. So it was a whole bunch of them, and they're all like, I don't know, kind of pinwormy, and they were on something, and they were in water, and they were just, and he was saying that in Washington, he was like, this is horrifying. And he was asking, so you people in Washington State, let me know how it's going. So he said these little worms have been found in all the water. All the drinking water in Washington State. And that they are usually, there's just a few of them in each glass. And they're sitting at the bottom of your cup. So you drink them down. And they just so happen to like to feed off of the blood in your brain. So they cross through the blood-brain barrier, get up into your brain, and just drink a little bit of blood. Just a little. It's okay. And, so, yeah, that's it, I guess. And so he's like, the scientists and stuff don't know what the fuck they are. They don't have any idea what's up. They think it's, well, it's just drinking a little. Well, how many and how fast do they multiply? Like, if you're not doing the fucking cleansing, like, and this is just one state. I've told you all the time how there's all these science experiments. Don't fucking kid yourself and think that it's not in other places and that they're not trying some other new advanced worms. These could be fucking 15 million years old. They dug them up out of a fossil and now they're putting them in our fucking... These motherfuckers are so fucking mad scientists. I can't even fucking believe it. This is just like, God. Oh, God. Hell, I swear to God. So, and who knows, like... I mean, are these the advanced bot ones or something, too? They don't, there's no horse paste that kills them or whatever. I'm so fucking sick of shit, man. I'm fucking burnt the fuck out. This energy is so fucking draining. And then when I was trying to work, and I don't even know if I could get 15 minutes to myself all fucking day. So that was another thing that was so tedious. Is like you're trying to really get into it. And each one, and... when you're painting and the thing is up like this, It's different. When you're leaning over, like, my fucking back is fucking killing me. My shoulders, everything is super sore. My head is killing me. I feel like shit. I haven't gotten any sleep. I was like, as soon as I fall asleep, and then I've got my own aches and pains too. I've got all these weird shooting pain. I don't even know what to call them. Fucking death, murder, poison shit. And I don't even fucking like to open the door. And Stella wants to go out there all the time. And as soon as you open it, it's like, okay, there's the fog. So, yeah, more poison, thanks. So, rain, 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 rain. Oh, yeah, and then we got this new bomb cyclone coming because there's this very strange and unusual thing that hasn't happened since 1921 or something. And it was coined the phrase by this guy Fujimoto or something. So, when a cyclone has in the system, so you have all these cyclones, which is it seems like some kind of a tropical storm thing. It's just a water storm thing. And so we got all this wind and water and shit going. And so these little, I don't know, kind of like when they're looking at it on the radar system thing, it's kind of looks like water tornadoes or something. And so, but they're bigger. And so then they're out there and they're in different places. So apparently this one, I don't know if it created another one or whatever, but another one came, and so they're out there dancing together, and this one is coming in, and so it's going to be a second bomb cyclone thing that's going to come in, which they said is going to bring a lot of rain and a lot of rain and snow. And my stepsister lives right outside of Seattle, the one who went with me with Morty and stuff. And she just got her power back on yesterday. And she said that there's 3 roads clear, but 1 road that's not. It's a lot of down power lines and trees and stuff like that. Which I wonder if my daughter is going to come over and go to that concert. I still don't know if it's canceled. I didn't get an email or anything. And I paid for a ticket, so you'd think I'd get an email if they canceled the show. So I don't know. I just think, like, they don't really care. I mean, even the bands may not know how bad it is. And maybe they've got it real cleaned up. I mean, some places don't have power still. She said that their power just came back on, but there's tons of places that still don't have power. So, I don't know. It just is so weird. It's just like this world is just like falling apart. But just keep on going. Just pretend like don't look the other way. Don't bother with that. And then we have another storm coming. And my one daughter who had messaged me that I was talking to, the one who had lived here for a while, well, the one who always tested me with boundaries, but it took me a long time to figure that out. It took me a long time. There was a lot of battles that we had, especially when she was younger. It took me a lot of years. It took me until I started my healing journey, until I started really focusing on me. And maybe it was like in my dysfunctional times, it was like I was always focused on what someone wanted from me or something. I'm not really sure. I'd have to really think about that. But you know, there was a lot of like fighting back and forth and stuff. And then it was all of a sudden where I realized, like, well, it wasn't like I realized. It's like they tell you. Well, mine tell me. And then, because I ask them. And then I was like, oh, so when somebody is making things hard on you, it's because they're teaching you how to be better at it. I was like, oh, light bulb. And so then I started looking at it different, the challenges. But there was definitely times of frustration. Like when she was living here, it was very frustrating. That's when a lot of the dividing was really starting to go. And the red and the blue. And I fell red. I fell out of the blue into the red, though, which is so weird. It's like, I raised you guys. Like, what the fuck? And, but no matter what, I don't know. There's so much programming. And I was glad to see this other girl, a university girl. And she said that she was blue. She went to university and stuff. And they totally program you to be that way. And but then when she started questioning things and looking at things, and then she points out a whole bunch of stuff, and it's always the same kind of things. So it's like when strangers, whenever strangers are seeing it, it's like our reality is really the reality that is the real one. The other one, there's a false reality that's happening, but it's all based on like fear, and you can't talk to them. They're so sure that this stuff is going to happen, is happening, and even while there's really crazy shit happening, like there's really weird stuff. I knew there would be. Like they're not gonna just. I mean, they're going to make sure that a lot of stuff is pointed out with these two, and I don't even know. There's some weird thing about Cammy, where the hell she's at, and Joe. Like, there's all just weird shit, and Vladimir, you know, he had said he wanted to talk to Donald because he would go into peace talks. And I don't know, that there's so much stuff that is just out there for us to hear, I think. And who knows how many people hear it, so that we see like, oh, he wants peace with that guy, but with these people, he is about to fire back. And we are involved because we gave them the stuff. So is like England. And so the insinuation is that they're going to have a fire back towards us or something, some kind of repercussions towards us. And Joe is all implicated in it because, you know, and it is, I don't know, it probably fall apart to kind of show like the laundry system and what's going on with the war games and shit, is what you would think is what they're exposing, kind of. But there's all sorts of, like, if you're on Twitter or X and you see a lot of other stuff like some of these people say, Julian Assange, he was saying something, Elon's always saying something. So like, to some of those people, you can kind of like, I don't know, read between the lines, because sometimes they talk in like a code too. So to me, it's just like, I try to just keep myself not getting too caught up in shit, and just staying in kind of like more observation, and not getting caught up in it, because it's too it's emotionally draining, and whatever is going on in the planet is weird. I don't even. It's like, you know, just like me saying, oh, she's doing really good. And then the very next second, she's 10 times worse. It's like, I don't even know how to explain how it keeps going. I just keep trying to blow it off and blow it off. But I've definitely, at a certain point, I was like, okay, this is fucking the dark energy. This is a real attack. This is some bullshit. And then, and that is where I started like walking around ranting and raving. I was like, oh my God, this is totally what a psychotic person looks like to people. But you really are talking to somebody. You really are talking to something that you have an awareness of. And it just trips me out, because, you know, the more I just think about that boy and him, because the dad did another video in the afternoon, and he got him locked up and got him transferred to Atlanta or something, to Georgia, where there's a big long-term facility. So they're trying to get him in a long-term facility. And it's just like, I don't know, being one of the people that can hear the other side, I have compassion and empathy for all the people who are trapped and, you know, under the control of the other side. Because to me, I've been like in both worlds, but it's like I've been in both worlds, but the spirit world is more real or something. I don't know, probably like if, like, I wouldn't say I like was like I was like Wednesday, or like that girl from Beetlejuice or something. I was never like that kind of kid, like gothy or something. I was just like a regular kid. But definitely like where you are always talking to someone else. Like Like, there was lots of times I didn't talk to any people. Like, there was times, there was like a certain period of time, and I don't know how long it was, but I stopped talking to my parents. I wouldn't speak to them. I was so fucking fed up with them. And that was when I was a teenager. Most of us get really fed up with our parents when we're teenagers. Especially when their shenanigans just fucking go on, and it's like, you fucking bunch of hypocrites, you bunch of fucking bullshit. And, you know, how you tell me what to do. I was pretty rebellious. I was pretty naughty. And then, you know, I was always doing drugs. I was a wild kid. It's just weird as, you know, how it always falls on the other person. Nobody ever stops and thinks, I wonder what's causing this. Because even, that was the whole thing I've talked about a bunch of times. Because even when the psychiatrist had told my mom, do you think anything could be happening that would make her be like this? And my mom was like, no. No, it must be her. She must be just a crazy kid. And I know my mom has always had that feeling towards me. But I'm an oddball, you know. I'm not regular like everybody else. There's something different about me. And it's weird. I don't know, it's weird to even say, because it's not like you're trying to be like different, better. It's just different. It's just like there's like the majority and then there's the minority. And if you fall in the minority, everybody knows what that's like. Everybody's a minority in some place in their life. I would hope everybody gets to experience what it is to be a minority so that they have some kind of compassion, because everything is about teaching us to have these other skills, these other developments, these other perspectives and stuff like that. So, so it's, you don't want to bypass opportunities of learning and seeing things in a broader perspective. I think when things happen and you get too closed up, you can get overly emotional and stuff too, that you can kind of follow your emotions. You can see like, oh, I'm really, you just try and go into your emotions and question yourself to get to the deeper part of where you're trying to figure out stuff. And because it really does change things. Like, man, I'm not kidding you. When you're sitting there, you know, with your daughter and you're having this battle back and forth over who's right or who's wrong or whatever the fuck it is. And then all of a sudden you realize like, oh, the challenges are really for me to grow, not for me to like change her or change myself or whatever. It's for me to, because kind of like when it's like boundaries and then they're, you know, pushing you for something you don't want to do or you don't want to say, because it gets harder, or it gets, it's hard with this certain group of people. Like, to me, it was really hard for me with my kids. Some people probably haven't been hard with their parents, or hard with a certain sibling, or it's hard with all their siblings. Somewhere that they would have some place where they're like, they value these opinions more. They want to please these people or something. And so we all have those kinds of things. You know, it's not like somebody's weird because they care about somebody, but we still have it very dysfunctional, and it's only gotten more dysfunctional, where people even think that they can demand of you. People start hiding who they are. Like it's like a toxic behavior that got way more out of control or something. Is way more better to be real, or to be honest. And so when she is saying something, I'm trying to see it, like, and see. Sometimes I gotta see like the steps of what it is I'm saying. So it's like I can understand this stuff. Like, there's things I can understand, but it's like some things are hard to explain what you understand. And so it is, so with the relationships that you have the closest to you are there for your benefit. They're there for you to learn from. And so, and to me, like I had said, once I had figured out that she was teaching me boundaries, and then I started focusing on my boundaries, like being real and being honest. Like, if I didn't want to do something, if I thought something or whatever, then to say no or to whatever it is, because there is, just like with my neighbor, before the old Kelly would have been like, no matter how much I didn't want to do something, I would do it because I thought of the other person more. I thought about what they needed and what they were going through. And that could be also another reason why I'm so fucking drained, because there's always a positive to the negative. And even though I feel like I'm under this total spiritual battle, I'm so motherfucking drained. And I was thinking that, like, even if she just came back and said, hey, I'm really desperate, I was gonna have to say, I don't have it in me. Sorry, I just don't have it in me. Like, I'm fucking having trouble just keeping up here, and it's hard. I've got so much stuff to get done. Like, I've got my own shit to get done. And even if it's not just like projects and painting or whatever, it's still like you have laundry, cleaning, cooking. And when I cook for them, I always cook them like these big stews and stuff. And so, and then I cook, bread from scratch, tortillas from, so it takes some more time to do this stuff. So anyways, I don't know, my time is valuable, but I used to would have put it aside, put my own feelings aside, and then been more resentful and angry and stuff. And see, it's very dysfunctional. It's linked to a lot of dysfunctional things that we start to do. And so it's so much better and real to be authentic and real and say, no, I can't. I'm just not. I don't have it in me. I'm just exhausted. I'm barely being able to keep up with these dogs, and they're overwhelming me. And then the lack of sleep too, like, fuck, even just listening to her snore, it's like, fuck, man, I could be getting another hour of sleep maybe, which I'm going to try and just get some today. But last night when I was laying there, I started programming myself. One thing I've noticed too is when she's really tense, it's really hard for me to relax, because as soon as I'll relax, as soon as I'll go to sleep, it's like the fucking archons poke her with a pen and she jumps up and yelps, and it jolts me awake. And so a lot of times I don't like to fall asleep until she's like snoozing away like this. And then, so I was laying there and she kept on getting up and she couldn't get comfortable and she couldn't get comfortable. And she's just like walking all crazy because I know her hips are hurting, because that's a part of the arthritis and stuff. Oh yeah, because I was saying what all she's on. Because I know sometimes people wonder what all she's on. And she got diagnosed when she was little. So it was like one day she was out running around the fence, back and forth up and down the fence, and then she was limping around. And I thought that she had hurt herself. I wasn't sure, so I took her into the vet. And then they said that they had to do all these x-rays. It was like $1,000 in x-rays. And I had to leave her. I think they had to even put her to sleep. I don't remember. And it was super expensive. And I went back to get her, and she was in so much pain. Whatever these x-rays they did, I would never put her through that again. Never in a million fucking years. And I think it's such a fucking overkill what they do. And that's why I'm not taking her in for any of the shit. Is what they put them through to diagnose them, and then all the costs and stuff is all bullshit. And I'm not going to do any of their treatments. I'm always going to go natural, and they're not going to offer anything natural. They're only going to offer their chemical salt on us. So, I'm just mind guessing out, just trying to figure shit out by myself. And because she couldn't even walk for a couple days after those x-rays. She wouldn't even get out of the car. She couldn't get out of the car. I had to leave her in there. She wouldn't. It was just a fucking ordeal. And then she's always been scared of the vet ever since. And she wasn't scared of him before that. And so that's when I found out she had hip dysplasia and arthritis. So she was diagnosed when she was little. They wanted me to take her to Pullman Animal Hospital and do all these treatments and stuff and let them test on her or whatever and do some new surgeries or whatever. And I was like, and it was at a time where I was moving a lot. Like that one year, it was like moved 4 times or something, or 4 times in a year and a half. It was like my whole life. And it was right at my healing journey thing. It was right after my trigger. A lot of stuff started going in a different direction when the trigger thing happened. And I still, I don't know what it's all about, because this person's energy is just around all the fucking time. So I don't know what it's all about. You know, I'm waiting for the big reveal. But the but anyways, so I decided I was gonna go natural, and my daughter worked at the weed store, so she started telling me about that's also how she had helped me get off of all of the drugs, because I was on 18 prescriptions, and so getting off of them with edibles, and then with Stella, I started making like treats and stuff with tinctures. And then I started getting the hemp CBD, which you can get on Amazon, because hemp, it's the THC one. It's from the plant. It's two different kinds of ways with the plant or something. But the THC one is the one you have to go to the store and get, which there's so much absurdity. It's so much about control. I just can't even fucking believe it. I mean, we're talking about a goddamn plant. And they, oh, you can't grow that at your house. Fuck, motherfuckers. I'm like, shut the fuck up. So I started her on that stuff. So she had moved her way up through this stuff. And so she's got the CBD and the RSO. So I get RSO and that's for like people who have like cancer pain and stuff. So it's really strong. And dogs metabolize weed stuff way faster, but hers is like, it's supposed to be 20-1. So it's mostly CBD with a tiny bit of THC, and the THC makes the CBD stronger. So that's the difference also with the hemp and the CBD. So the CBD is more effective if you have a little bit of THC with it, apparently. And so anyways, so she's on that. She's on the turkey tail. She's on boron every day. She's on, I'm doing the golden paste again. Glucosamine. I'm doing the worming stuff all the time, and all of those things, clearing her out, the minerals. Give her some of my tea every day. And let me think. Now she's got the DMSO. I'm going to keep trying on this sore. But just stopping her from drinking the water outside, her cysts are going down. 100%. They're going down. So that has got to be some kind of lymph drainage system or something, that when she gets all these toxins overfilling her, and it starts filling up in these cyst pockets or something in her. And so working on getting rid of all of those. And so, but no matter what, I'm still going to have the arthritis and the hip dysplasia. And hip dysplasia is a deformity, and it's from their fucking shit breeder bullshit. So so anyways, and it sucks when you really love a certain breed of dog, and then other breeding bullshit that goes on out there. But and everything is like that. Harris County is completely gone out of control. Like, this is a part of like it's like these certain things that go way out is like to show us, you know, how bad things are. Harris County is definitely, well, whatever it is, I don't know if that is like I think they're killing 100 to 200 a week, not a day. I think it's like 15 or 20 a day, something like that. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. And they are, the girl who's always there showing stuff, she said that they're calling the dogs aggressive towards people, and that's why they're putting them down. But all of them they're just taking them out, and they're all friendly and stuff. So they're just lying about stuff. They're just killing all these innocent dogs. They're killing ones that the mom these are so sad to me. I don't know. To me, it's like, if you're gonna have the babies, once the mom is done with them, once the mom is like, okay, you guys go about your business, but to be taking babies off from moms and stuff, like they've got all these mom and puppy dogs, they have puppies in these places that it's so abusive. Like, I don't understand why people don't treat things like they have souls. I don't get it. I don't think people understand what the soul is or anything. Maybe that's a part of this whole thing with them being able to take it out, like in the maid and stuff. Maybe that's going to help people understand. You are a separate soul. You are separate. And what was that? Something just was popping in my head. Was when I said the soul, it was something with the maid. Oh, yesterday when I was trying to figure out what I was talking about, I was talking about the thing. So I had already been talking about it, and I kept thinking, what was that video? What was that video? It was the one I was talking about. So, let me think what it was, because something just popped into my head about that. I swear to God, I feel so out of it. And I feel so exhausted, and I feel out of it. I feel like everything is weird. Like, even yesterday, so once it became dark, it is becoming so fucking dark early, like pitch black, like no light at all. And it's really weird because then hours later, they'll start being light. So I don't know if it's going pitch black, like, and we don't have a moon. I don't understand what's going on with the light. It's real weird. So it goes pitch black. And and the dog starts snoring. Like, Max is always first one out. He's just like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna go sleep. And but he's first one up too. Like at 3 o'clock in the morning, he's up jumping around, like excited for life. And but he does do pretty good at being quiet, just sitting there like waiting. But man, if you move, he's just like right on top of you. And but so I'm sitting here, and this blue light it flashes into my house. And I'm just like, what the fuck was that? And so I start trying to look at him, thinking, like, does somebody put up some kind of Christmas decoration that's like flashing now? And so then it happens again. And then I'm like, what is that? And so I'm trying to figure out what it is, and it happens again. And then I'm like, man, is it lightning? And Stella wants to go out. And so I'm thinking, is it having a lightning or something? Is it a spaceship? Like, what the fuck? Is this the thing that's going to pull us all out to the sky? Like, what's happening? So I open the door to let her out, and it happens again. And then so I'm seeing, like, I can't tell which way it's coming, because it's coming in my front of my house and the side of my house, both windows. So I'm like, okay, it's got to be coming from over there. At first, I thought it was coming from her house across the street, because I thought she put up some decorations. Maybe one of hers is flashing or something. And then the other neighbor, she had one that was like a little light thing. It wasn't like a blue flash coming in my house. It was just this little light, like when I would be in my kitchen and I would look out, it would be this purple light, like a laser light looking at you. And that was annoying. But this is like this flashing. So then I look out there and I'm trying to see where it's coming from, and I couldn't tell. And then I asked the neighbor, are you seeing this blue light flashing? And she's like, no, I haven't seen anything. And so she starts looking, and she's like, I can't see anything. And then I was like, well, now it's stopped. I was like, I don't understand. It was almost like a police car thing, but that would have been way faster, with the blue light coming in. And then that's usually like right there, like, and I have no idea. It was the weirdest thing. And then I'm having more and more of this hearing weird stuff outside, where I'm like, okay, am I the only person hearing this? Like, what in the fucking hell? It sounds like there is like a fucking monster surrounding us or something. And even last night, and one of the times when she went out, or maybe it was yesterday, I'm so lost in time. But we were outside, and there was all these weird, like, even like where it would sound like a cat or something, but it wasn't like normal cat sounds. It was like this ploy, this we're trying to like lure you into the forest or something. It was very creepy. I don't know what the fuck. I was like, what are we have a bunch of like shapeshifters out here or something? Because there's some weird sounds, and the sounds are so weird. And I was out there, and I heard a plane, and it wasn't too overcast to see, so I looked up to see, and the plane was way over here, and the sound was way back here. That is all the time, and it's getting further and further away. Because before it'd be a plane, and I would see it, and the sound would be coming, and it would be like, this is weird. I've never seen this before. But now it's like further and further away, where it's like, this is so weird. and the sound stays for so long, and it's so deep and rattly, like it like rattles your house practically. And and this is like, because if you think about everything being realms and realities and stuff, in this realm, like the whatever's happening with the sound barrier or whatever, it's fucking rattly. But then I'm like, man, I don't know if everybody is aware of some of this stuff. I don't know if everybody hears all these things. Because, like even when I ask somebody, like, what's the blue flashing light? And they don't see it. And it was like lighting up in my house. It was creepy. And I thought, like, even at one point, is this coming from the TV? It seemed like the TV was like meeting it. And it was like this blue light sparking in my house. I was like, what the fuck? And then there kept being these sounds. And every time when I'm in here and I'm like, what was that? I'll open the door after and I'll hear some weird fucking sounds. That's when it was too. And I went out there because it wasn't just this weird cat thing. And I've heard cats outside and I've heard cats outside at night. This was not normal sounding. And then there was some other like weird, like I don't know what else to think of it. It was just like some kind of animals or something. It's just weird. All the sounds are so weird. And I don't know if it's the forest is carrying them more. I don't know if I'm hearing more things or what. But definitely feeling the things too. Like the sounds like hurt. That light just went off. The sounds are hurting. Like there's like a lot of weird things. And like when I go outside, it is so much like going into, it reminds me of when I very first started seeing it. It's just more extreme. And the colors and three-dimensional. Like it just makes you feel like you're not really here. It's like this fake world and you're just walking through it. And then all these weird kind of aches and pains and stuff, these weird kind of feelings in my body. And then I'll have like these lots of weird things. But last night, so yeah, I was laying there and I was tired as fuck. And it was like so tense and I was like on edge and couldn't relax. And so I started programming myself, telling myself that every little bit of sleep I get, that it feels like I get a lot. So for every minute I get sleep, it feels like I've gotten so much rest. So I'm going to keep doing that, keep programming myself like that, to keep telling myself that I feel rested. And I was thinking about that I just thought that's kind of funny, because when we program ourselves, it's like basically just programming ourselves, hypnotizing ourselves, convincing ourselves. And I was thinking about a guy, I don't know if everybody remembers this, but there was this whole thing about people who were trying to quit smoking. Because there used to be tons and tons of people who smoked, and tons. And I think all my kids smoked. And one of them, she was having trouble stopping, and so she wanted to go to the hypnosis thing. And somebody else went with her. I think they were going for eating or something. But she went for smoking. She didn't smoke any. She quit smoking after she went to it. But it was placing those kind of messages in your mind and putting it into like a meditative state, and then placing those, like programming your mind. You don't like the smell anymore. You don't like the way it tastes and stuff like that. And we can do that to ourselves. We can program our own selves by telling ourselves. And this is the part I think of also learning how to trust yourself. And to know that that's real. Like you really are doing something. You're really taking control of your own mind. So I'll see, like I still feel like dead ass tired right now. And I'm still really hoping that whatever is, I've been feeling down her back. And I feel like right up in the middle, it's pretty tight. Where I think she's probably got like another pinched nerve. And I think part of it too is like she's very crammed. She's like a big dog in a little space. So every time she's turning, everything she's doing, I'm sure. And a lot of times when she gets like this, she just needs to rest and let her muscles relax. And then she feels better. And then as soon as she feels better, she goes out and does something rowdy. And then she comes in and is like miserable again. And I feel bad, but there's nothing I can do about it. And it's very stressful. Like when I couldn't believe it. Especially because I was really thinking like we were over that little hump. And as soon as I finished and she jumps up, and it wasn't just one wince, it was like a whole fucking series of them. And then she can't even fucking barely walk across the thing. I was like having a heart attack. And then every single thing, it's like when something like that happens, I'm like, oh my God, is this it? Is this it? Is she about to die? Like, what the fuck? And it stresses me the fuck out. That is like what happened with Lucy too. It was very stressful. I was so much more like when you just wake up and your dog's laying there dead. That is so much more. It's sad, but having him die in your arms is I don't know. It's very it's intense, super intense, because you're like you're trying to save them and you can't. And I don't know. I have a PTSD about it. And then my one dog that Winston, he had the cancer, so I called the place to come after. I don't know. I think it was like 9 months or something. And I just wish I would have known now what about that CA and what it really is. And I could have. He was just overrun with probably bacteria and bugs and stuff, and he'd always eat anything. He probably had so much parasites, and I had no idea. And I don't even remember when I started finding about the diatomaceous earth, because that was the first thing. But I think that was after he was already gone. I don't think I knew anything about that stuff when he was sick. And I mean, so much of this stuff is just trying to learn it and figure it out. It's like once the system has failed you, it's like you're on your own and you're trying to figure it out and you're trying to listen to all these different people tell you about all these different things, and it's kind of overwhelming. There's so much. And then when you have like uh, your best friend and their health is always an issue, and then it's, you know, it's just stressful. And I'm trying to, you know, keep up with, you know, each thing that comes. It's like, okay, what do I do now? What do I do now? And it would be nice to have a fucking vet in our family to tell you that you could trust, that wasn't going to just try to make money off of you. Like that system is so broken, I think. And I saw a video talking about there's a vet, and I don't remember what state he was in, but he just killed him. It could have been like a Miami one or something, or Beverly Hills. It was like one of those kinds of guys, and he was a vet to the rich people, and he killed himself. He got a dose of the euthanasia stuff himself and put himself out because he said he couldn't stand it anymore. All these rich people would rather put their dog down than pay any money to having their dog's health taken care of. And he said he couldn't do it anymore. He was so fucking sick of just putting these dogs down. So, because they'll eat your soul alive. I don't understand these people in Harris County. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, you cannot just keep murdering and murdering, and it's not going to affect you. Your energy is going to be affected. Your soul is going to be affected. However, you keep yourself distanced from your own soul, from your own emotions, from your own inner knowing. Like, I don't know. But, yeah, you're going to have to face yourself. Everyone's going to have to face themselves. So these people who are doing that, yeah, it's going to hurt when they have to face themselves. And they can lie to themselves now, but it's also going to be by intention, because they feel like that there's a little thing inside of them that like gets off on it or something. Like you wouldn't be doing it if there wasn't some part of you that was enjoying it. And so then, because what check is worth that, man? And so I don't know, but everybody's got their own repercussions to have to face. Everybody's got to face their own stuff. And because what was it? Because I was gonna say something about that kid again, the kid who with the schizophrenia or something. Because you know, back when I was a kid, and knowing that that there's whatever you want to call them, I don't know, energies, souls, ghosts, aliens, interdimensional people, there's other beings, and that they are all around and they talk to you, and that you can relax your mind and all sorts of information is out there for you. And they show you things, they tell you things, they show you how to do things, they tell you how to do things. I don't know, they bring your mind into different places of understanding and stuff. So that, and I had it ever since I was a kid. And, then, though, to see, like, how they start diagnosing these people with having mental illness. But it's not even just that. It's, because the people could tell me I'm crazy. Um, and I am crazy to them. They don't hear voices. I hear them. I know it's real. And I know it's real because there is real things that happen. Like, they tell me things ahead of time. They show me things, like, it's real. Like, it's not. I would have to be so fucking fantastic to be able to do this for myself. Like, I would be fucking gifted God, not a fucking crazy person. So, but what makes me feel bad is all these people who are locked into that system and are being told that they're crazy instead of learning how to communicate and learning how to, wouldn't surprise that. Oh yeah, that probably is. That is. Oh my gosh. Because, when they were first studying on all these people and in the asylums and stuff, so they wanted, because that is what they were looking for in the testing in the schools too, is for these people who have this ability. So see, because then they can do that mind control on them, because there's some of those people that they do that mind control on. And I think that it's a wave that's put out. I think they've got a frequency going that some of these people can hear and not everybody can hear. I think that there's all sorts of different ones. And I think that they can speak through them. And I think that there's a reason why that there's so many kids, especially, that are, going around. Because, there was one in a school, in a school, like, this is becoming a big thing. You guys may have already even heard about it. But a fourth grader went and got a second grader who happens to be dark skinned. And I don't know if the kid who lynched him was also, but he literally lynched this kid and hung him in the bathroom. And these people got to stop. You got to stop sending your kids to these places. You got to stop. Like, I don't know how much more bad things can happen at these places before people are like, "Fuck, these places are dangerous for my kids." It's all a fucking scam. It's like I don't know. Everything is like that Emperor's New Clothes. Everything is selling you something that's not really there, and convincing you that what it is, what it's not. So, anyways, because these kids that are trapped in this thing. So if they go into the system, okay, so they have all these ways of filtering out and finding these kids, and before, these people, then they take them and test on them and stuff like that, and try and understand. Like, I think they probably dissected their brains and stuff, like, at certain points, trying to understand, like, why can some people have this connection or hear these voices and stuff, and why can't other people. And it is, so then if they tried to figure out, like, if it was coming from the brain or something, it was coming from the soul. And so, I don't know for how long they tried to figure it through the brain or something, because even now, one of the things they're saying in that 25 thing is that they have the ability to take your brain out and put it into another body, like Frankenstein stuff. But to me, that is your essence. I think they're trying to say that they could take your mind, and your mind being your soul, and take you out and put you in something else. And I already know that they've been doing that. And like I've said, when I came out of my body, that I saw, like, there is no difference. You are your mind. This is an illusion. You are everything that you think you are that. And that this thing that you look at it's like a reflection. It's like, I don't know how, it's like, okay, it's like taking light and putting it in a refractor, kind of something that refracts light. So it's like we're birthed into this refracting thing. So it puts out this light so it can be seen. It's like a hologram thing. And it's not you. It's just like this separate thing of you, but you are all of the things that you think you are. You don't, it's not your mind, it's not any of that stuff, it's not your emotions or whatever. Your emotions are kind of here so that you can play with them or toy with them to help you to drain out the ones that you don't like, to help you process what your feelings are and stuff, because those things, you carry those with you. All the things that you feel is a part of you. And I don't know what it feels like when you don't have feelings. If it's just, you know, that you're like rock solid of this thing. And then that's why, you know, you come in because you want to be more malleable. You want to be more like clay or something. And you want to be able to be more changing forms or something. So it is, so to me, there's a reason to this birthing into these realities. And I'm sure this isn't the only one that's, you know, we're birthed into, and the only one that we go through these experiences. And there's probably tons of different ones. And so and then also when you think about all the different realities and stuff, then you think about like the meeting place. Yeah, it would be like this giant, what is that, New York train station? What's that called? Like some giant thing like that, out there somewhere. To me, it's the universal mind. It's like the meeting place of all the energies. It's the communication place or something. And there's so much communication. Like, I swear to God, I feel like I can hear my neighbors. I can hear them thinking. I can pick up on it. I can feel what they're thinking. It's weird as shit. And that is also where you start feeling like, man, am I crazy? Like, where am I coming up with this? How do I know what someone's feeling? But I swear to God. And I know that I've been right before, lots of times, because I've had confirmation, because I've asked and stuff. And so the there's like this connection. And so that is where I say, like, being in two worlds, like you're connected to this other world that people don't have any idea of. And it's hard to watch these other people that you know are connected to it, but they don't know how to manage it. And then also when there's so much of the dark energy. So it wouldn't surprise me if they yeah, okay. So if they find these kids, like certain kids, and then they find out, you know, that they can hear and see or whatever their hallucinations are. And so auditory or visual or whatever, but in those other realms, they could have like, I won't say like men in black, but like instigators, like these beings that are there to fuck with you on the other side. That, like, they are all manning these other realms and stuff. All these realms around us are being policed. It's not like, like this is a heavily contained reality. And so the yeah, that even is more of like, you would be like, oh, nothing can happen to us. Like, the whole fucking universe is here to protect us. So nothing, like, and it's scary. You know, it's fucking scary when it's fucking wind and trees falling and water rising, all this shit. It's scary. And, but, you know, we got to keep in mind that this isn't real. And that it is an illusion. And it's just part of the illusion, is getting really caught up in the story so it feels real. But it's not real, and nothing can really hurt us. And so but so if they get those kids, and they figure out certain ones, and if they use frequency, or if they use this Men in Black thing, maybe there's certain medications even that open them up more, and so that they can because they've always got this thing about trying to create these super soldiers too. And there's so much about mind control, and there's a whole thing about even in the 25 too is in this 25 thing from the NASA thing is the that they're going to get control of our minds. And that is what that guy at the Davos or WM, whatever, one of those fuckers with the glasses, one with the black hair, he's selling a lot of fucking bullshit. But he said something about our minds and they're going to have control and kind of like, I think they've already been putting a bunch of artificial stuff in us and they're already trying to take over. And then, so what I'm saying is they have certain people that they have more control over. And so there's like the beta test thing. And so some of these people, it's like trapping them in a hell too. Because man, when I got sick that one time with the scarlet fever and I started having the visual hallucinations and I started seeing it, and it was so, in the auditory too, it was so loud. I think that was the water gurgling. It does that sometimes at the most strangest times. It's like it's talking. It sounded like it was talking. So was it interrupting me? Because what the fuck was I talking about, man? What the fuck was I talking about? 101. I don't know if I'm making another half hour. Because I feel just like really brain foggy, kind of. Everything feels weird, man. I don't even know how to explain it. It feels like you're trying to, like you're on your deathbed trying to talk, your last breath. That's one thing too, is the breathing thing keeps being really weird to me. Like, fuck. There's so many things that keep being really weird. Let me think what I was saying. Okay. So the mentally ill thing. So they're trying to create their super soldiers. They've got control over some of these kids already. Some people too. And that's how they get these things going, do these mass things and stuff, and get these kids all like, I really want to see what it feels like. But these voices, oh yeah, because when I got the scarlet fever, and it's different. I don't know how to explain it, but it's different when I'm just talking and they're talking. It's like, I don't know. It just not scary. But then when I got sick, that entity or whatever it was very aggressive. It was very scary, and it was dark too, and it was really big, and it was really scary. And it started talking to me, and it started saying it was going to get me, and I was really cold, and the covers were down, and I started to reach for the covers, and it told me I couldn't have any covers, and it said it was going to get me. It kept saying it was going to get me, and so I ran over to my window in my bedroom, and I opened the window, and I jumped out my bedroom window, and I took off running through the neighborhood, and I ran over to the neighbors across the street to one of my girlfriend's houses, and I could hear it. It was right behind me, and it wasn't just hearing it. It was like you can feel it. It's like right on you, and it is so aggressive, and it's yelling. It's going to get you and stuff. It's so mean and scary. It's very scary. And so I can see why some of these kids are scared. But the realms that's real. All that stuff is real. When these kids are sitting there saying the voices are telling me, the voices are real, and I don't know. It's very frustrating for them to sit here and keep saying like the voices are not real. It's like the voices are motherfucking real. It depends on like what realm you have accessed, and there's a definitely dark realm of that kind of, and one thing that they've been doing a lot is just chattering too, is and I don't know if it's coming from the frequency, the archon, like I don't know, it's just it is so fucking dark, And it's so fucking negative. Just like, you know, you go pick up a hammer and then it's like telling you, showing flashes in your mind of, you know, what hammer crushing into someone's skull and stuff. So that kind of stuff, like really dark stuff all the time. And it's really intense right now. And so I imagine that there's a lot of kids, a lot of adults too, that are being really overwhelmed by this dark energy. But the thing that gets me is how they just keep telling people that it's not real. It's like, people need to find out it's motherfucking real. It's not real. It's very real. And these are real beings, and they're really fucking with us. And they really fucking tell you negative shit in your head. And they really do get you to feel suicidal. They really do get you to want to do yourself in. And what is even crazier is you may not be able to do yourself in. You may only be lifetime injured. And then they're going to enjoy that. But they've convinced you, you know. And so many people don't realize that. They don't realize that this fucking nonsense that is fucking being talked isn't coming from within. It's coming from without. Like it's somebody sitting here just whispering in your head, talking fucking bullshit. And what would you do if if you're hanging out with somebody, they're just nonstop talking bullshit, putting you down, ridiculing you, talking just, I hate them, they suck, like whatever, just trying to keep you just down, then what would you do? You'd say, get the fuck out of here. And that's what I do. And so I'm always like, get the fuck out of here. Shut the fuck up. Just bullshit. And then when it just is nonstop fucking bullshit, that's when I'm start being like, God damn it. To my guides, like, what the motherfucking hell? What am I doing here? Like, what the fuck, man? This is too fucking much, man. Just nonstop, like when you're doing something and everything just keeps falling. Everything you touch balls the other way. It's just like, are you motherfucking kidding me here? It's like, I'm gonna go fucking crazy, man. And that's why I've been feeling like lately, like this is so fucking intense. She's running away. This is so fucking intense. And that it needs to be acknowledged by people. Like, this isn't in your mind. This is real. We are really battling the dark energy. We're trying to be released from this dark energy that is fucking got a grip. And it is holding society so fucking tight. And it's got such a grip on so many people that have no awareness. And so the more that we can build up awareness, the more people understand, like, this is real. There are things around you that you cannot see that are really there. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean it's not there. And the things that you hear inside your head are not coming from inside your head. They're coming from outside your head. And it is also like a misnomer or a miscalculation or something, that the people begin to think that they are those dark thoughts. They think those dark thoughts are them. They think that they are those. They merge with the dark thoughts. And see, that is where a soul doesn't have its own self defined, and it becomes so tricked that another one can sit there and say stuff and have this one think that that's who they are and not be able to see themselves. Then, so that is what, to me, has a lot to do with this awakening, is learning how to see yourself, learning how to define yourself, learning how to comprehend yourself, especially in a climate of chaos. And that is what we are, in a climate of chaos, in a period of change, in a time of a reset, where everything is changing, everything is disorder. Everything is out of order, because it's all going to, fall back into, well, a lot of it is like the people are going to fall back into place, but the things are not going to fall back into place. The things, whatever comes back into place, is all going to be restructured. Like, we're going to be restructuring so many things. Education, I think, I don't know, the USPS, there's going to be some stuff that is going to be like, I don't know, or something with our delivery system and stuff. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to be changing. Like, I don't know, like, to me, I live off of Amazon. Like, it keeps me from having to drive to town all the time, and it's free postage. well, you have to pay for $100 a year for free postage, but when you live it out like this, like I'll have, I don't have toilet paper scent because I get that off of Grove, but I haven't sent. But on Grove, then it's more natural products and stuff like that. But it's bamboo toilet paper, supposed to be better for the planet. And I think you get 8 rolls for $10 or something. And also, when everybody was having all this toilet paper shortage and everybody's freaking out, you could still go on to some of those places and get toilet paper if you go for the bamboo one. And it's not just Grove. There's other places that you can get it too. There's one place that just does toilet paper, and I can't think of what it's called. It's like a cutesy kind of name. But if you Google bamboo toilet paper, you should be able to find it. It's supposed to be better for the planet. It's better for your butt, I think. And then plus watching as some of the stuff comes out about the regular toilet paper like Charmin and stuff, and all of the toxic chemicals and stuff is like the same thing as what they did with the tampons, the pads, and all this stuff. Is they just all they want to do is get all these fucking chemicals in us all the motherfucking time. It's like, it's so crazy. And then we go around feeling like all raggedy and tore up and tired. And then you go to the doctor, oh, we are aging. You're getting old. Well, that's what happens when you get old. It's like, it's the whole fucking thing. That's what happens when you get goddamn poisoned. So if we put a stop to the poisoning, then we stop getting old and we stop feeling like shit. And it's all of them. Because it's the dogs too. Like our dogs, that all the animals are being affected by all the poisons and stuff. So, anyways, it's a bunch of fucking nonsense and fucking ridiculous. And just rant about it every day because I'm telling you, I'm in this really dark. There's so much, like it's so heavy. I feel like it's just like, oh my God, everything is just so heavy. This is like fucking trying to break free out of hell. And everything around you just wants to stay the way it is. It's like, God damn. And I can see why it's just got to get worse and worse. Like, why it is. Like, if they're going to have a fucking missile coming, like, they can blow up a bunch of bridges. They can fucking blow up whole goddamn towns and still have people, like, just going about the day. Everybody just, planning the holidays, planning their trips, doing their shit. It's like, God, this is so weird. So weird to be so hyper focused on it while there's just still so many people who don't even pay any attention. And this is another thing too. Like when you consider how burnt out I am, don't forget how long this has been going on for me. Like a long motherfucking time. Like, and it's wacky too, because so many people think, oh, you just become spiritual or something. It's like, no, just because you are just waking up to it doesn't mean that I have been doing that for a long fucking time, way before anybody else. And then you have people start doing it, and they're all doing it fucking weird, backwards shit. And then you say something about it, and then people are like, start saying, no, you're wrong. Okay. So people that are just now trying to discover spirituality, who are saying all this whacked out shit, they're not wrong. People who have been actually studying it and living it and aspiring towards it, they're the ones you're wrong. Especially if you've been doing it for decades. Like, you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. And all these new people, though, like, they know what's going on. It's like, I don't think so. But but anyways, so even with the spiritual community, like there was like, even when I very first started waking up, it was a complete split off because I started seeing they were all blue. They were all talking about get these and all this shit. And I was like, what the fuck? And then what would blow my mind is when I start being like, okay, so what spiritual part of you are you, like, where's your spirit? Like, who are you talking to? Like, who is telling you to do these things? Because my spirit's telling me, X, no way. No fucking way. And it was so obvious to me. So that was where I was questioning already with the spiritual people that were out there. And that was right before, because I feel like my first testing was on Twitter, was the being more public. and talking and arguing with people and taking a stand on things and stuff. And so it was more like the testing, you know, if I could handle it, because people come at you so hard. Um, and they come at you like, especially if you're going off the narrative, then you just get fucking attacked by people. So, you know, I wasn't sure if I could do it, but then I got comfortable, and then I started doing this one, and I had already tried to do this in 2019, and so then in 2021 is when I started doing it, and no, it was 2018. It was 2018 when I was going to do it the first time, and then it was 2019 when I moved here. And then it was 2020 when shit went crazy. And it was 2021 when I started this. And then it's been going and going and going. But before that, I've got like 7 journals, or I got a lot of journals over there because I was journaling the whole thing. And so mine started, the very beginning would have been my brain injury. So that would have been in '09. That would have been when I got knocked out of my my position, what I was doing, how I was just going about my life. That's when it just came in like a fucking hurricane and just knocked me out of my life. And that's when all this stuff started going crazy. And I was very dependent on relationships, so very dysfunctional. I was thinking something about that the other day or yesterday or something. Too, that's one thing too, when you go and start doing a lot of stuff that puts you into like a meditative place in your brain, and you start thinking about a lot of stuff. And so you'll just see things, and then you'll think about them and see them different and stuff. And so whatever it was, I don't remember. But so in '09 would have been when I got my brain injury in February. And everything was going shitty. And I was already still in shitty relationships. So I was leaving one shitty relationship and then just went right back into the worst relationship that I've ever had. And that was number 4. And that was like the lowest of the low. That was my rock bottom. That was where I was at my worst. And so that those years were horrible. And it was a part of my healing, but I didn't realize it at the time. And so I didn't realize it until it was until he left me, and I was knocked out of my own cycle. And then that is when I started seeing the bigger picture and started seeing so much more. And that's when I really started hardcore on my healing journey. That was 2015 is when I had my dark night. And then after the dark night, then it was 2016 is when I started joining in the cult or whatever, going and hanging out and all that. I started seeing the aliens everywhere. I got the telescope. I was pointing out all those spacecraft around us all the time. And people got like, oh, that's crazy. That's a star and stuff. I was like, no, it's not. That's spaceships. Those are spaceships. That's spaceships everywhere around us. And that was 2016. That is when I was doing all of the photos and stuff, and I was putting them on Facebook of Nibiru. And I was also showing all of the trails and stuff like that. So I was doing all those pictures. And then my Facebook went down. It was hacked. And didn't know at that point all this, you know, I didn't know what was ahead in the censorship. I didn't know where we were headed. So I didn't put 2 and 2 together at that time. I just thought it was just, you know, hackers. We get the same bullshit that we always fucking deal with. It's people taking our identities and shit like that. And plus it went in hard like that and started going through all my contact list and asking people for money and pretending to be me. And then I started having people texting me and saying, I can't afford, like, why do you keep harassing me to give you money? It's like, it's not me. My account was hacked. I'm not on Facebook anymore. And so, but, you know, that was still embarrassing, especially I wasn't healed at that time. So it was really embarrassing. It was really traumatizing. Like, oh my God, people think I'm begging them for money and all of that. So, and so then it was 2017. That's when I got my trigger. And that is when it took me in this whole different direction. And it was already starting so much with the healing and stuff, like where I started understanding like the boundaries. Like my daughter came right in, and right away I was like learning how to have boundaries. And for somebody that was always uncomfortable having boundaries, it was the perfect person. even though it was very challenging to me. And so it was very difficult and challenging. That's why I try and tell people, like, the relationships that are difficult are there for you. They're not there because that person sucks. That person's there to challenge you, to help you grow. And until you see that, they're going to always be, like, oh, they make me so mad. But until you start seeing what it is that they're trying to help you with. And they don't know what they're trying to help you with. It's for you to figure out. And they may think that they know, but that you are the one who knows. You've got to figure it out. And then after that challenge, that's when my ex number 3 came back. And he came back in, and that was beautiful, man. I was so fucking fine. That was the boundaries where it was like, fuck yes. That's where I really did see, like, oh my God, hell yes, boundaries are nice, man. Because I was able to fucking stand up to him. And before, when he had come, he just moved his ass into my house and just like tried to make it like, oh, this is your idea. It's like, no, I think you're just invading my space, like making yourself. But I didn't have good boundaries. And so it was easy to be pushed by different people. And when you don't have boundaries, you just attract people that push you because it's a part of your lessons. You just don't know what part of the lesson you're at until you get the part where you look back and you're like, oh yeah, oh, I was like that. Oh yeah, yeah, I need to work on that. So it's like getting the drawing board. The drawing board's being made, and then you get this opportunity to look at it so that you can see. And so then when he came in, and that caused a big ruckus because then nobody wanted number 3 back. They all hated number 3. And I was hanging out with them, but it was kind of fun, just like hanging out and being friends. We went out to dinner, rode our bikes. He was trying to, move in on me and told me he was going to move in. And I was like, no, you're not. And he's like, well, I'm not going to see you anymore. I was like, see ya. See ya. I don't care. And the games that he tried to play before weren't working. And so that gives you this really powerful feeling like, fuck yes, boundaries are fucking cool. But then there was more, because then there was the next challenge. Like, it keeps going. It's not like you just stop there, like, oh, I fixed. I did it all now. No, mine came and came and came, even after I was living here. And when that girl had come, and she had stayed here a couple of times, and that was like, she's a tornado goes coming, like anybody who comes in her path, she's there to create you to put boundaries. Like, I think there's people out there in the world that are there to just like and you better be able to withstand it. You got to be able to protect yourself and set your own boundaries, because certain people will just suck everything out of you. And I don't know. All I can say is that there's people here who are playing roles and stuff, but it's each and every person's own ability or own free will to decide when they've had enough, when they want to change, because any of us can change. Any of us can do better. And I still, that doesn't mean like I don't think I'm a catalyst. I think I've been a catalyst throughout my time too. I think I was a tornado for a lot of people. But we all are playing these different parts. But so when her coming, that was a whole nother challenge in the boundaries, because it's really hard, when you think somebody's in a crisis and you still got to stand up for yourself. So there's always more challenges and stuff, but they're beneficial. But it's a way of just to start to look at the things as how they can benefit you, rather than, oh, this person drives me crazy. Oh, they make me so mad. I hate them. To start to see, what is it in me that is challenged? Why is it that I feel this emotion when I have to deal with them? Because that emotion is what is there for you to learn, to grow from. It's a benefit. It's there for you. So anyways, that's just something that is, I think, important. But again, I'm going to say that there's a lot of dark energy around. It's very much. And there's weird shit. Like, even at 1:30 when I got up, there was this weird light coming through. I was like, is that the moon? Is that a spacecraft? Like, what the hell is out there? There just keeps being all sorts of weird stuff. I've seen there's like so many spacecrafts being seen now. They're like being seen all over the place. And then it's like some of it, you don't know how much of it is our government and stuff like that. And I don't remember if I said about the red sky in Florida. There was this whole weird red sky thing, but it was down like by Tennessee too. And I'm sure there's gonna probably be some more storms down there. There's get over when the cyclone thing was coming. They were having the trumpets by Seattle. I just feel like all these sounds and stuff is like it's our atmospheres, these shifts, these energetic shifts in our atmosphere, and everything is shifting. Like if we were looking at this on a different level, we would be seeing it differently. And if we were looking at it like the energy, kind of like if we were looking at it like those maps, that's kind of like what everything is. It's like when you look at those maps, that's like our energy is going with this same thing, these same battles, and these fucking headaches, man. They just keep coming, and it's like right by my eyes, and this real heaviness, this weird feeling like keeps overtaking me. And you have to push it back. And it's I don't know. And I don't know if my neighborhood is particularly full of dark energy and I've like got more of a battle of it. And if that's why I was put here, because there was some kind of a grid thing too, where all of the different beings of light are the ones that are the positive, I would say the positive, like if you took the AC and the DC, of the positive and the negative, and so the light being the positive and the dark being the negative, and so at this time on the planet, we have way too much of the DC. We got way too much of the dark, and not enough of the AC. And so all of the AC, it's to me, and it's also was kind of like I didn't have a choice in life. It was like I came in to play this part. And so I was always going to stay in the light. Now I was always aware of the dark. I always could see the dark and stuff. So and I know I'm not the only one. I know there's lots of us. And so those being the light, if you want to call them light workers, star seeds, whatever you want to call them. So those beings of light, the positive charge to the negative. And it's draining when there's so much negative because it's draining to the other energy. And so but it's also there to turn the other energies. So it's kind of like each energy has to turn themselves and remember. And it's kind of like it's kind of like going into this party after it's been this big old party for a long time and everybody's drunk. And then you're trying to tell them how to get situated or something. Because it's like they're all going to have to face this drunken side of themselves. So it's not going to be pretty. Because it's like you're going in and turning on the lights and then they're all going to be like, ooh, like embarrassed. And, but none of the light is here to humiliate or embarrass anybody. It's just there to flip the switch, to turn it the other direction. And it's not like it's better or anything. Everybody has the light and dark. And so everybody has chances to play in both things, to see both sides of yourself. It just is whatever in the role. But I had plenty of time in the dark too. I did some stuff like I just never went very far into the dark like a lot of other people. And I knew to be healing it all along. Like I knew to face it from the start. I didn't just pile it inside of me and hide it and create all these skeletons in my closet. My problems were a lot more about boundaries and insecurities and stuff like that, from being like the oddball out and everybody always laughing at you and feeling like a big goofus anyways, like being taller and skinnier. So because Crystal, she's like the same as me. It's so trippy too because when you are living an experience, you feel like, oh, I'm the only one living like this and I'm just the weirdest. And then but as you get older and you start finding like there's all these other people living the exact same thing. And which is interesting too is because that is all of the different souls doing, like, it's like a template, and then it's like their reaction to the template. So each soul has its own unique response to the template, which is so interesting because that's how the universe grows. But it's just so interesting because when you're going through it, you feel like such an oddball. But then when you find out, oh, like there was other oddballs too. We were all feeling the same way. So I wasn't just like a weirdo feeling like this. There was like, that was like a normal response. And she was talking about the shoe thing, because when you're much taller and bigger than the other girls, and I just saw this girl. This girl is online, and I keep seeing her. She's super, super pretty, and she's young, and she has some thrift store, and she's half Native American, so she tries to speak out on Native American things, but nobody will give her any respect because she looks like a white girl, and it's her coloring, and her sister is that they're same bloodline and everything, but her sister looks more native, and so she had them the other day standing next to each other, and the one sister who looks more white, she's 5'10" and a half, and striking looking, like she's really, really pretty. And so she's standing next to her other sister who's 5'2", and it was just like, and she looks more with the dark hair, dark eyes, darker skin and stuff. And this girl, I would say, maybe looks more Spanish or something with that kind of coloring. And but it's just so funny with the sisters, because on mine I was 5'9" and a half, which my aunt and my mom say I was 5'10" or 5'10" and a half. But I think I was 5'9" and a half. I know maybe got to 5'10", but I don't think I was 5'10" and a half. And then so I did have bigger feet than everything. Like everything on me, I just felt like I was like this King Kong person. And this movie I was watching yesterday too, it had a Catwoman. And I kept on thinking, who is that lady? But I think it was Catwoman, and it was like an older movie before she was Catwoman. And so I think she was from Hungary or from Finland or something. So she had an accent, which I don't think she was faking it. There was all these actresses a long time ago that had these accents, and then they made them get rid of them. Like there was a thing about not having, there was a thing against the immigration, against culture, against all of that stuff. And so they would make these women not have their accents. But she, in this movie, and it has Susan Hayward, and I can't remember the guy's name, but so she comes out and she is giant. I was like, I had no idea she was so giant. And she says she's 5'11" and a half in this movie. Like, I don't know if they're doing it, making it look like, but every scene that she came out, I was like, geez, I had no idea that she was so fucking tall. And so she was like I think she's a 5'11" or 5'11" and a half or something like that. And I don't remember all the stuff that was being said. But even in the show, though, the guy starts talking about, like, oh, that big Amazon. Why do I want that big Amazon? See, when you are the girl that's bigger than the other girls, it makes you feel really insecure like that. And boys do say stuff like that at school. And then there is boys that you think are super cute, and they think you're a giant Amazon. So there is things that make you feel insecure. And that I had... my shoe size was a 9.5, and when I would go out dancing all the time, and I would try and wear heels, I was constantly tipping over. Like I feel like I needed bigger feet. Like my feet weren't big enough for how tall I was. I feel like it was like out of balance or something. So I think I did need another inch on my feet, because on heels, it was like I was constantly tipping forward, like I'm gonna tip over. But now I don't really wear that kind of heels now, like back then in the 80s, where I had the one heel, which, you know what, I don't know if I'd said this is so absurd, this is the ridiculousness, I swear to God, of the Madonna's song Like a Prayer. So they've got this church group, like all these women, and they're just singing their heart out about this the prayer song, Life is a Prayer or whatever. And so all these people keep doing these videos like, what the hell, that's a song about blowjobs, and they're singing it in church. It's like these people have no idea what they're saying or singing about. They there's so much blind following There's so much just not thinking about things, just trusting that it is what they tell you it is. And it's like, fuck, this is like, there's just so many things that are so ridiculous. But let me think, what was I finished saying? Whatever it was I was saying. The, man, I keep going so blank. I don't even know if I've said anything today that even makes any sense. I'm just all over the place. But no matter what, there's going to keep being shit. Like every day that I see, it's more attention on the World War III thing. So they may do that Hawaii moment thing, which to me, that would be like good, unless they do it with the EMP, then it's going to kind of suck. If we just get like you got 10 minutes to live, oh my God, and everybody is scared, and then it's like, oh, 10 minutes, that's really going to give them something to think about. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, it was, maybe they'll even do like, oh, the aliens saved us. They shot down the missiles. Because they do. They can't use those nukes. It's impossible. They close them down every time. The EMP, though, is a frequency thing. And frequency is the weapon of choice. And everything is about frequency. So, in attacking the frequency, see, that's why these higher frequency beings don't come down in the lower frequency, because it's so fucking uncomfortable. And it is uncomfortable. And it is hard. And it does feel like it is very uncomfortable. Is all I know, is I feel so uncomfortable. But anyways, I don't know if it is like I'm around a bunch of dark energy, and it is like, I know that there's like some kind of grid system set up, like all of the light, the AC to the DC, so it was put in certain places. And just like, how I was put here, and how it seems like, I can't get out of here. Like I'm here. But I do have a nice bathroom now, and my kitchen, I'm loving it. I'm just loving this place. But still, it doesn't make me feel like I'm home. This is my home. To me, when I very first got it, it was always not just like a business. It was my home, but not my year-round home. It was my home, a travel home. It was a home that, like, my kids wanted to go to a cabin. Oh, our family has a cabin. And then I wanted to be able to rent it out to other people who wanted to come and travel. The Airbnb thing, though, was turned into a total nightmare. And I couldn't do it the whole time because of the bathroom. Now I'm having the place more fixed. Maybe it's going to come into my orbit of more of a reputable place where I can start opening it up for being able to let people come and stay for traveling or something. But right now, it's not a safe time to be traveling. Everything is total chaos. And we got fucking cyclones coming out of the blue. We got all sorts of shit. And everything has got to be so close. Like, we've got to be so motherfucking close. And you know what I was thinking about, too, is the solar flash thing. Is I was thinking back there in 2018. Because I was thinking, when was that? I think it was March of 2018 was when Allison Coe said that the date was it was going to be. And I think it was Fleur, I don't know how to say her name, Fleur or something. She was saying it too at the same time. And she was saying she was seeing the solar flash. But it was like a whole thing. Like, if you weren't there for that drama, it was a whole fucking thing. And but at the time when that was being said, Daniel Scranton, and because somebody asked him, and so when he talks to Arcturians, and I don't remember who all he talks to, but so when he was asked, he said, no, I think it's more like 2025. And I was thinking Corey Good also, somebody was asking him about the solar flash. And he said, I don't think it's about to happen. I think it's going to be more like 2025. When I was talking to the Inner Earth people, they said it was going to be around 2025 or something like that. I think that's what he said. So I'm thinking that we could have some big thing that's going to be coming in 2025 on the solar flash thing, which there's a lot of things that have to lead up to it, because I think we're the creation of the solar flash. I think it's our energy that goes out. It's the awakening energy. It's the book, and all of a sudden when people realize, but I don't know, because everything all along has been so much less dramatic. than what I thought it would be. Like the storms are dramatic, but the shifts and stuff, it just is kind of just goes. And I guess that's why it's just kind of get in with the flow, go with the flow, because it just goes. As other people wake up, they start doing the same thing. These people start doing this other thing. Then these people start saying these people won't wake up. Then these people start saying, it's just like this goes and goes. And, at first I thought it was going to be this like, blah, and everybody blah. And I think that's still coming. There's still something that's going to be like a blast awakening, because there's way too many people that are still just oblivious to the world. They're just, got to get to work, got to get to this, got to do that. And just willing to accept the fucking bare minimum of this world, this life, and be used by these people. And all they're trying to do is create monsters and people who are just empty shells. Because then, then they'll go and buy these superficial people, whatever they're called, the sleeves or whatever. And this is wacky too, because it was only a couple of videos I've even seen. I am so uncomfortable. But this one was these girls. I saw a couple in a row of these girls. They just, what is going on with these Hollywood celebrities? Man, they are just coming out looking so good. And I don't know what they're taking now, what if there's a new surgeon and all this stuff. It's like, oh my God. I told you that there's something weird. Like, they no longer look like surgery people. They no longer look like that weird face that they were all having. Now they look like, to me, it's a total AI face. It's a total, like if you go on to Bold Glamour and you do a video with Bold Glamour on your face and what you look like, it is like that's what all of them look like a mask. And it's weird too, is because long time ago, when I was on Facebook, and they were always doing all those tests. Like I said, they were always testing us and stuff. And back then, we didn't know all of the different things, but there was this one about it was something like put your face, and then it will show you all your different faces in your past lives and tell you who you were. It was only like 4 of them or something. But in one of them, my face looked just like this face that these girls are looking like, where I was like, okay, this is an AI face, and all these girls are looking like it, which I don't know if it's a mask. I don't know if they are actually being put in synthetics and having their consciousness put in synthetics. Now is going to be the next big sell. And I don't remember if I finished saying about when I saw that in that movie the other day about with Burgess Meredith, and I said in that actress, and all she could have was fame, and how it ended though that she was a living doll. She's a living doll, and it just kept showing, because it was like she's no longer living. Like she just looks like this living doll, but she has no fucking life or anything. And that is kind of like with these people. So I don't know if they are going and putting their consciousness in, and that was going to be the next push on us to, if you didn't want to have pain, you didn't want to gain weight, you didn't want this, you didn't want that, then you could go into a synthetic, which is the fucking worst thing. That is only somebody who doesn't want to have control of their soul would do that. Like, if you want control of your soul, you don't go in a synthetic. You don't fucking be in a black box or any of that shit. And when they have got the abilities to fucking take your energy and put it in different places, and that is also, think about with those back in the old movies, and they'd have these space guns, and they could zap you and you'd just be stuck there. That is kind of like these frequency things or something. Like, those kinds of things are real. Those kinds of things are scary. It's funny too, because like our weapons here, but that's like for an illusion, because you're not really getting hurt, even though it's like a video game. Is weird, even though in the game you can be, hurt or killed, but it also, I think it has to do with your mind. It also has to do with your role. It also has to do with a lot of things. And a lot of things are shifting right now. So I think that's going to be a part of where people are going to extend their lives, is because they're going to start realizing they have more control with their minds, and that you can use your mind. And one thing too is I've seen a lot of people say, like, when something bad was going to happen, that they told themselves, like, you're going to be fine. You're going to live. You're going to make it. And even when I think if you watch some of those I Survived shows, then you can kind of see, like, that there is a sense of the person that is like, that they take over. It's like, no matter what happens, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna be fine. No matter what the fuck these people do, I'm gonna be fine. And so that is kind of your own mind, your own soul, your own thing. Even though it probably has to do with your soul knowing, like, your soul wouldn't start telling you if you were about to leave. It wouldn't start saying you're going to be fine, because your soul knows. Your soul knows if it's about to go or if it's staying, especially when it gets to that point. So when it's saying, you're going to be fine, then you're going to be fine. But when it's not saying anything, it's probably because you're going. But it's just like, you really are going. You're not dying or anything. You're just going to another place. You're just leaving the stage. You're just going and standing around with everybody else watching. And I don't know, if there's so many people around right now too, if that is because when the frequency or whatever changes, if we're going to be able to see them and interact with them. And it's going to be like, because I know that there's this whole thing about the living and the dead walking together, and the new age and the heaven on earth or something. So I don't know. I don't know what's to come. I know a lot of stuff is to come. I know a lot of changes to come. And I know all of the change starts with all of us having to do it for ourselves, and having to look at life differently. Look at it through a different, because even if I say look at it through spiritual, there's this misleading spirituality. So it's looking at it through your connection, just really working on your connection to your higher self, to your own spirit side. And then, you're going to have to maneuver through all the dark energy, because there's a lot. There's a lot, and it's very tricky, and it will trick you. I know that there is people out there. I swear to God, I think that Daryl is, whoever Bashar is probably not some high vibing frequency guy that he thinks he's channeling. It could be some low vibration frequency, and they're all around. So you got to just pay attention at what it is that in the information. And the big thing to me with him on the information was, because I saw somebody the other day trying to explain it, saying, well, he shouldn't have got involved with the politics. And then something else he was saying, I don't remember. But to me, it was like, okay, just the whole thing with him saying that she was going to be the right choice is like, dude, how can you not read the energy? How can you not see where the love and the unity is building, and where the division and hate is forming? Well, it's formed. It's risen to the top. It's supposed to go away. It's supposed to boil over. But each person who carries it has to do it themselves. So, but that is what it, is for, to come up to the surface. But yeah, when somebody is saying stuff like that, and you can't read the energy, you can't tell where unity is and where love, and you want to, and then to get caught up in a certain person is, you're following programming or propaganda. You're not, then how are you unbiased saying this stuff? As to me, you can like whoever you want to like. I don't think we're going to have any leaders soon. I think, and even that Matt Getz or whatever, he's backed out from being whatever. They just keep offering all these positions to all these different people. It's just like a fucking crazy thing, whatever's going on with that. I'm not even sure. But so he said that no, he's not going to take that position because he's going to be busy taking down Congress. So see, they're going to be all be going down. So this is like riding out the government. Like, it's going away. It's not going to be the same thing. So I'm not going to sit there and tell you like, oh yeah, this person's going to save us, this person's going to save us. No, to me, Donald is playing the role of the catalyst. There's a whole big thing about his role, and his role is long, and it's important role in this whole thing, but it is definitely the direction that we're going. He's like the light bringer to that direction, and so there's so many people who are resistant to it, and it's like you got to figure out where your resistance is coming from, because you're too caught up in something to not be able to see the direction that we're going. And why do you have to love the person you're following anyways? That you're following a direction towards love and unity, towards freedom, towards abundance. Like, it's gonna be a whole fucking, it's gonna start getting good at some point. And so I don't know if the 25 is gonna be the solar flash. It's got to be the financial thing. It's got to be close. Like, I can't even believe how long it's drug out, and just drags and drags and drags about whatever. It's got to be close, and it's got to be. Something's tickling my nose. See this shit, man? I'm telling you, it's like a fucking constant attack all day long. The anyways, the constant attack all day long. Shit is gonna keep going. Things are gonna keep going, and everybody's gotta figure it out for their own thing. They can't get caught up in all the drama. Everybody's gotta work on their own selves. This is a journey to independence, and everybody's gotta take responsibility for themselves. And so, anyways, that's the main thing that's going on here. I keep saying it and saying it, but the main thing that's going on here is learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.